keep your issues to yourself. All right? You went from a Motel 6 in a sketchy part of town to a Four Seasons in the shopping district.
A short while ago, Colin Cowherd stunned the sports world by making a shocking revelation about Caitlin Clark, the national basketball sensation. Regardless of whether you watched her jaw-dropping plays or her journey to make headlines, fans cannot afford to miss this breaking news. What did Cowherd disclose that has everyone buzzing, including ESPN commentators and regular fans? We will be delving deeply into the announcement that will redefine Caitlin Clark's future in the game in the coming minutes, so please take a seat and pay close attention. Colin Cowherd acknowledges Caitlin Clark's significant achievement. The WNBA has seen a notable surge in popularity since Caitlin Clark joined the league. Arenas started to sell out, ticket sales surged, and the national media shifted their attention to women's basketball, and a flood of new supporters arrived. Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever's explosive guard, has been the focus of a lot of this fresh enthusiasm. But not everyone in the WNBA was ready to celebrate, even if the media enthusiastically welcomed Clark as the league's emerging star and even its savior. Many seasoned athletes experienced uneasiness following years of commitment and effort. Some felt that the emphasis was unjustly moving away from them and only focusing on the newest member of the league. There was a period of subdued tension. Clark's talent wasn't the point. It was evident to all that she was gifted. It concerned the claim that the WNBA had been transformed by her presence alone. For this reason, the recent announcement from sports pundit Colin Cowherd was quite important. Cowherd revealed the findings of a recent survey of WNBA players, which identified Caitlin Clark as the league's future face, on his program The Herd. Peers acknowledged Clark as the player most likely to steer the WNBA in the next 5 years, as she received a resounding 55% of the vote. This was more than just a poll result for Cowherd. It was a significant event. In a startling turn of events, Cowherd smiled to start. WNBA players are recognizing Caitlin Clark's exceptional skill. He underlined the significance of this change, particularly in a league that has hitherto functioned outside of the mainstream sports media. It's difficult to go from being ignored to being spoken about and even ridiculed. The amount of attention was overwhelming. Overnight, you rose from the background to the forefront. Cowherd claims that what initially seemed like animosity is gradually evolving into recognition. He admitted that many WNBA players were first reasonably frustrated. Although it may have seemed like their years of hard work were being overlooked due to Clark's unexpected celebrity, there is now a growing understanding that Caitlin's presence benefits everyone. All players now have a larger stage to perform on, more exposure, and more possibilities because to her renown. Herd the Cow compared Clark's ascend to the status of great sportsmen like Mike Tyson, LeBron James, and Tiger Woods, youthful stars who attracted national attention fast, often faster than veterans were comfortable with. He clarified that it might be difficult for long-standing contributors to accept the unexpected success of a newbie in any industry, but particularly in sports. However, respect comes after the newcomer succeeds and raises everyone with them. And right now, that's precisely what's taking place. It's huge that her peers voted her the league's future, Cowherd remarked. For Caitlin Clark, that type of validation is significant. Making headlines hasn't been the only goal of the expedition. She has been trying to prove herself to the people who really count. Now, as supporters applaud, with teammates adapting and teammates recognizing her contribution, it appears Caitlin Clark is more than just the league's best player. Its future lies with her. Caitlin Clark's career has been soaring as she dazzles audiences with her amazing movements. What do her opponents and co-workers think of her? How do the referees feel about her? Let's investigate. Between the fans and the referees is Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is more than simply a player who can dribble the ball and make three-pointers, as anybody who has watched her play basketball knows. Everything about her game, even the referees, is her own. She appears in more than just the highlight reels and box scores. Everywhere on the court, it is felt. From her insatiable ambitions to she plays with fire, intensity, and a daring that captures everyone's attention and won't go away when she looks down an official. Caitlin Clark enthralled the audience in a now viral game with her performance and unadulterated passion. She angrily yelled at the referee in the middle of play, "That's a bad call." Her aggressive motions, firm voice, and piercing eyes made the protest a potent statement. Her unwavering demand for passion and fairness on the court not only amazed but enthralled her fans. Online, the clip has generated a lot of buzz. A supporter wrote, "Refs probably start sweating the minute Caitlin steps into the building." One more person said, "She's not merely a participant. She has the potential to become a coach. That isn't how you teach fire. It is born." No-look passes, and her passion is becoming as well known as her step-back threes. Clark is so captivating not only because of her talent, but also because of her unvarnished honesty. She never plays it safe, she never holds back, and she never pretends. She doesn't hesitate to lead a fast break or challenge a referee's call. And her admirers adore her for precisely that fearlessness. She is inspiring in addition to being fun to watch. Even when she is disagreeing with the referee, she is the kind of athlete who inspires you to applaud. Most importantly, she does not cross the lines into disdain. She isn't being impolite. She's being honest. She never engages in conflict for attention. They stem from a strong desire for excellence and justice. She has the greatest expectations for herself, her teammates, and yes, even the officials. She also elevates the game's difficulty for all players by doing this. Caitlin Clark is evolving into more than just a standout athlete. She is a force. She is altering the perception of leadership on the court. She is fierce. She is unadulterated. Furthermore, it is impossible to overlook her. One thing is certain, whether you're a lifelong basketball fan or just watching for the excitement. Caitlin Clark is more than simply a gamer. She clarifies. What has the sports commentator said recently about Caitlin Clark, aside from Colin Cowherd's announcement? Let's examine Cowherd's remarks regarding athletes who have elevated the game in more detail. How Caitlin and Angel Ree rocked the foundations of the sports industry. Prepare yourself, for things will drastically change at this point. What began as a friendly conversation between two well-known titans of sports journalism, Colin Cowherd and Ryan Rosillo, abruptly took an astonishing turn. These two men have covered the biggest sports stories for years. They have seen trends come and go, dynasties crumble, and legends grow. Nevertheless, they made an unexpected admission despite all of that experience. Caitlin Clark, as well Angel Ree, has fundamentally altered how the whole sports calendar is managed. Indeed, two young female college basketball players are currently influencing multi-billion-dollar marketing campaigns. Everything was revealed in what appeared to be a friendly conversation. As sports presenters usually do in between major sports seasons, Colin was talking about his next trip and attempting to decide when to take a break. At that point, he made a rather enlightening statement. Colin claims that Caitlin Clark's influence has been so significant that media executives have had to rearrange their entire calendar to accommodate her. In the past, August was kept intriguing by the NFL preseason alone. It served as the backup material and filler before the main action started. However, the true summertime stars are now Caitlin Clark and Angel Ree. Colin didn't utter her name carelessly. He said that he only worked on 15 lengthy segments about Caitlin and Angel. Why? Due to the absurdity of the figures. The level of participation was quite high. Like never before, people were clicking, sharing, commenting, and watching. Simply put, sports fans couldn't get enough. They weren't paying attention to the typical NBA or NFL turmoil. They kept returning in order to follow these two young ladies who had drawn national attention. Furthermore, this is more than just a passing internet fad. It's historic. Recall how the NBA was revolutionized in the 1980s by the Larry Bird versus Magic Johnson rivalry. There were more than just two outstanding players competing. An entire sport was elevated by that one moment. That's what's going on right now. However, collegiate women's basketball is more than just a game. It is altering the way media organizations function, the way networks schedule their programming, and even the timing of star personalities' vacations. Two college players under the age of 25 are leading the conversation in the sports world. That is not only out of the ordinary, it is unprecedented. Usually, only professional celebrities like Serena Williams, Patrick Mahomes, and LeBron James have this kind of influence. But now, despite still sporting their college jerseys, Caitlin and Angel are the center of attention. Their charm, the strength of their rivalry, and the cultural wave they've created is so strong enough to have influential executives take notice. These young ladies are game changers, not just celebrities. The rules for what counts in sports media are being rewritten. Let it truly sink in, then. We are seeing a change as two women who are still in college are making headlines, generating enormous viewer engagement, and changing the way that Americans watch sports. That is revolutionary, not simply impressive. Caitlin Clark appears to be altering the course of women's basketball in addition to her quick ascent to fame. What aspect of athletics did she change? Let's examine the specifics. The drought of the summer is over. The sports calendar had a recurring pattern for a while. Summers used to be peaceful. The most of the main colleagues were absent. The athletes had taken a vacation. Additionally, supporters turned their focus away from game scores and onto beach vacations, barbecues, and other activities. Media outlets and sports broadcasters took advantage of this period to relax and reorganize as they knew there wasn't much to report or nobody truly interested. However, that trend has been totally upended lately. And there are two adjectives that best describe the cause. Clark. Caitlin. Not only has this teenage basketball sensation made ripples, but she has also changed the title. People are watching if Caitlin is playing, even if the games aren't important, whether it's during the off-season, pre-season, or a casual exhibition. She has transformed what was once the slowest, least interesting period of the day into the main event. Year into an intense media flurry. Sports programs used to fight for viewers' attention at this time, but Caitlin Clark has made every second matter. Colin Cowherd, a media figure, explained it in a way that only someone with actual business knowledge could. Every minute is recorded in the realms of television and radio. Analysts are well aware of which segments succeed and which fail to capture viewers' interest. And anything bearing Caitlin Clark's name blows up during the long, dreary summer months when most stories vanish into thin air. Her rivalry, videos, and game highlights are constantly at the top of the trending lists. She controls interest rather than merely creating it. Caitlin Clark is respected for more than simply her accomplishments. She enthralls admirers with her passion, genuineness, and audacious demeanor. She impresses out as genuine and approachable in a polished and choreographed sports environment. Every move she makes, whether it's hitting a game-winning hit, arguing a call, or yelling from the bench, is unfiltered and authentic. She definitely attracts people and leaves an impression because of her unadulterated energy. Sports can now be enjoyable again thanks to Caitlin Clark. Fans miss the thrill, the passion, and the unpredictable nature of today's game, but she has brought it back. She is a treasure trove for broadcasters and networks. She is an exhilarating experience for fans. She also serves as a sobering reminder to other athletes. Raise your game. The fire is only fueled by her continued rivalry with Angel Ree. Each of their encounters is more than a simple game. This is a moment of culture. The combination of the skill, the suspense, and the trash talk is what keeps viewers interested and engaged. The audience isn't merely looking at the scores. They have a strong emotional attachment. Every highlight, press conference, and post-game discussion sparks a social media frenzy. Additionally, Caitlin's influence is changing the way we discuss women's sports. She's doing more than just drawing attention. She is setting new records. Sales of tickets, goods, and internet views. She makes a headline out of everything she touches. Her experience demonstrates that women's sports can not only equal the excitement and drama of men's sports, but in some situations even surpass it. She has made it impossible to disregard the influence of enthusiasm, performance, and personality, regardless of gender. To put it briefly, Caitlin Clark has evolved into a natural powerhouse. She's changing the rules of sports journalism, reviving the passion of summer, and demonstrating that brilliance isn't waiting for the ideal time of year. It makes the world watch, plays hard, and shows up. Many people who are unfamiliar with her are curious as to how she became so famous at such a young age. What kind of record does she have? Let's examine the specifics. The ascent of Caitlin Clark on the international scene. The narrative of Caitlin Clark's development, perseverance, and gold on the world basketball scene is quite extraordinary. In 2017, she made her debut in Buenos Aires, Argentina, at the FIA Under-6 Women's Americas Championship. She wasn't a starter at the young age of 15, but her presence off the bench had a significant impact, scoring 8.8 points a game on average. She was instrumental in helping the squad go on an undefeated 50-0 run and win the gold medal. It was a preview of the celebrity she would grow into. Clark made another significant move 2 years later as she participated in the 2019 FIA Under-19 Women's Basketball World Cup in Bangkok, Thailand. Even though she only scored 5.3 points per game, she made a consistent contribution in each of the 7 games, helping her team maintain an undefeated record with a perfect 70. An additional gold medal was added to. Her authority on the court was further paved by her expanding collection and experience. Caitlin Clark made a triumphant comeback to the Under-19 World Cup in Hungary in 2021. With an average of 14.3 points, 5.6 assists, and 5.3 rebounds per game, she dominated the competition. She was selected for the all-tournament team and won MVP for her outstanding performance. Clark's burgeoning prominence and crucial contribution to the team's ongoing international success were demonstrated when Team USA went undefeated and won the gold medal with Clark leading the charge. Clark's reputation had skyrocketed by March 2024. Her name had become well known in women's basketball, and her college performances had enthralled the nation. Out of 14 college players, she was the only one prior to the 2024 Summer Olympics. Top athletes are invited to the United States national team's last training camp. However, she was unable to attend the camp due to a scheduling difficulty. At the same time, she was captaining her collegiate squad in the NCAA tournament. Despite her remarkable collegiate career and rising fame, Clark was left off of the final Olympic squad. The choice provoked intense discussion, with many supporters and commentators wondering why a player with such a significant effect and broad acclaim was not included. Later, the Olympic Selection Committee clarified that factors like prior experience with the senior national team and ability to adjust to international competition were taken into consideration while making their selections. Clark's inclusion was ultimately weighed against by certain factors. Despite her Olympic aspirations was paused. One of the most fascinating sports stories of our time is Caitlin Clark's ascent in American basketball. Being the game changer on the court is only fitting for a profile as rich as Caitlin Clark's. How powerful is she in the game, though? Let's investigate. Caitlin Clark modifies the rules while playing the game. This is the reality. Simple yet effective. Caitlin Clark is more than simply a basketball player for her college. She is a walking revolution, a game changer, and a phenomenon. Her actions on and off the court are upending the fundamentals of women's sports and changing the norms around the perception, celebration, and adherence to female players. This is the worst part. We're just getting started with this narrative. Caitlin offers more to the game than simply her talent set, as evidenced by her logo-range three-pointers and no passes. Fire is what she brings. She is more than just a basketball player. She demands attention. She doesn't blink when she calls out refs mid-aim. Arenas full of skeptics are silenced by her. Her TV ratings are comparable to, and occasionally higher than, those of professional men's teams. She is completing all of this prior to becoming a professional. Decision-makers in newsrooms and boardrooms are being forced to pay attention by Caitlin. Network executives, sports magazine editors, and major broadcast producers are posing queries they have never given much thought to previously. Should women's sports receive more funding? Is this the momentous occasion we have been anticipating? How do we draw in and retain Caitlin Clark's audience? This is when things get wild. Caitlin Clark draws you in even if you've never been interested in women's collegiate basketball. Every time she's on the floor, she produces a moment, a highlight reel pass, a jaw-dropping stat line, or a buzzer beater that makes you care. But it goes beyond plays and numbers. You are captivated by the intensity with which she plays, with a fire that illuminates each arena she enters. Young girls who watch her see more than just a player, they see a chance, a cause to aim higher. A role model who demonstrates that talent and confidence are not exclusive to only one gender. When parents take their girls to her games, they become as enamored. Because she doesn't want to be smaller, she confronts the athletics culture. She accepts pressure. Expectations are what she thrives on. She performs with the passion of someone who isn't waiting for approval to tackle the largest stages because she knows she belongs there. We're seeing more than just a player having a successful season. It is the start of a movement. The story is being altered by Caitlin Clark. Regardless of gender, she is increasingly being used as the benchmark for what excellence in collegiate athletics looks like. Furthermore, it is not about controversy when she clashes with referees or uses a dagger 3 to enrage a crowd. Takes courage to do that. She is proving to the world that women are capable of being fearless, frank, and fervent rivals. She is defying expectations about female athletes' conduct and substituting it with something audacious, authentic, and wholly unique. She is no longer merely a player. The game revolves around her. These days, her name is a shorthand for greatness, edge, and vitality. She isn't playing to blend in, either. She is performing in an attempt to alter everything. One thing is for sure, regardless of how long you've been a fan or how new you are to watching. It's Caitlin Clark. She has no fear. She is captivating. Furthermore, she isn't waiting for the future to arrive. She is rewriting the future with each shot, each confrontation, with each game she engages in. This is more than just the beginning of sports history. It's rewriting sports history, one Caitlin Clark moment at a time. Do you genuinely believe that Caitlin's abilities are now recognized by both opponents and colleagues? Please share your ideas in the comments section below. Remember to subscribe and like.